Welcome everyone to State of the Game for the 10th of November. Was that we do have a lot of people who are interested in survival that maybe haven't, tried out the Division yet.
That's true.
For those people who have never tried out the Division, survival is actually a really good time. Because
level playing field.
Completely level playing field in survival. It's you don't have to have grinded out or played through the whole experience to even jump into survival.
Yeah.
So
any level player.
Okay, so yeah, so we are Thursday morning. So as usual, we have our weekly maintenance this morning. What is happening this morning? We have a couple fixes for the live game. We have the first one, which is we are fixing a bug where basically if you would be below level 30, you could group up with level 30 players and get access to their vendors when you would join them their group, and therefore get high-end items that would be below level 30. So we're fixing that, so you won't be able to do it anymore, because that was an issue and people could go in the dark zone, like dark zone that would be below level 30 and just, grinding or whatever. So that was not really fun.
World Tier, I've seen a lot of conversation about World Tier 5.
Yeah.
And how that kind of
and the new gear score
and that sort of thing.
The new gear score, yeah.
I understand. Yes, we are a loot-based game, and these things have happened in the past and will happen. This is a kind of unique one because I know it comes at a time when 1.4 is really still fresh for a lot of people.
And 1.4 in many ways felt like a new start, but in reality, a lot of people already had 229 gear, had almost everything they needed.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a divisive thing for the community, the haves, the have-nots, and so this now that we have new content, we have new ways to playing the game, we have new pieces to collect. This is the time for everybody to get a level playing field and gear up together.
Yeah.
The people that stuck with us with 1.3 and the people that just came in with 1.4 all get to start fresh. And obviously the Riot Shield, both the Riot Shield gear set on the one hand, but also the new sidearms on the other hand. A lot of people,
Rhino and stuff as well.
A lot of people haven't seen the golden Rhino because they are not playing the right piece of content to get it because they're all in survival.
Exactly, and that's great that you guys are all in survival, but there are a lot of things coming at 1.5 that we need to look at.
We need to look at a lot of things in the missions and balancing that are not survival because survival is a unique little bubble.
Exactly.
So yeah, regarding World Tier 5, I think one of the reason that people reacted so strongly about it is yes, definitely in terms of timeline, we understand that some of you might think that this is very short, a very short time frame between the release of 1.4 and then we are adding a new gear score. But as Frederick said, that's also just putting everybody on the same level. But also, what's important for you to know is the fact that this is not going to be a regular thing. It's not like every month we're going to bring in a new world tier and a new gear score. This is more of a conclusion to the changes we did with 1.4. This is something that we felt was needed to really, bring everybody to the same level and start over again together. But this is not going to be a regular thing where every month we're going to change it. It's a one-time thing, and then the next time, if we want to increase gear score and world tier and everything, we will only do it if we actually really have new content and new activities that would justify actually you guys grinding your gear again. We are not going to change or to add a world tier just because we can, because we know if that means just grinding the same gear over again, it's not going to be a fun thing to do like many times in a row. So yeah, don't think that this is how it's going to be in the future, like every month. Why can't I recalibrate named gear pieces? That's a bug, and we have a fix for that.
Yes.
So that's going to be fixed.
Cool.
We're looking to revert the buff to the DPS or the tactical link.
Yeah, was the second thing I wanted to mention. Yeah, somebody was asking why did you buff it? It was already strong enough. Yeah, we're going to remove the buff we did in PTS. So it's going to be back to the 1.4.
Enemy armor damage.
Right, so let's talk about that.
Let's assume that no one has looked at anything and they're hearing about changes to enemy armor damage for the first time.
TLDR summary of what we're talking about. So we saw with 1.4 that armor really quickly became the must-pick stat when you're recalibrating your gear. And
it's very powerful.
There's a couple of reasons for that. The primary reason is that you get mitigation from it. And mitigation is a percentage, and percentages just get better. Like going from 99 to 100 is better than going from 0 to 1%. So like it gets better the more you invest in it. Okay. So it becomes a bit of a must-pick stat.
Yeah.
So we were looking into how to address that now that we're moving up to a new tier with new gear and stuff like that. And one of the things we wanted to do was give you a meaningful choice. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to try out giving you the choice between armor and armor damage, so that you're not going really tanky and DPS at the same time. We want this RPG choice to be. So that's something we're trying out on the current PTS, and that's why we did that change.
There are two things with enemy armor damage that are happening right now. The fact that we made it a major bonus, but the fact that we also made it apply to PvP.
And the PvP thing is completely separate. It just happens to happen in the same patch. Like, the reason we moved it to a major is to make you think about your choices between DPS and tankiness. Mm-hmm. The reason why it also happens to be that it starts working in PvP now is that we're making an initiative to make all of the guns rolled stats work in PvP. Yeah. And so stagger also on shotguns also works in PvP now. So those are separate issues. It had nothing to do with that. And in fact, the PvP armor penetration or armor damage, we're trying that out now. We might tune it down, turn it off, turn it up. We don't know, but that's a separate line of discussion.
We have mentioned it before, but just to reiterate to people, there is a different modifier for the PvP enemy armor damage and the PvE. So if we need to change it in a dedicated PvP sense, we can do that on our side. You did mention it, and I don't want people to get freaked out. Shotgun stagger. It acts a little bit different in PvP.
It's not. We didn't turn on stagger so that people are flailing around like they did from explosive ammo or something. It just makes you flinch.
Your
reticle will jump and not automatically return like it does with normal hit reactions. So it's a subtle thing, but it gives you an advantage in close quarters. We wanted to give some utility to the shotguns as we're adjusting their damage output. Make sure that that's balanced.
I think. On that note, one of the things that, since we're talking about shotguns and PvP, people haven't been able to really test that out just yet, given that the controller wasn't working on the PTS.
There was a controller problem, that's a shame.
But tomorrow, people will be able to start trying that out. Adrian said that we should be able to try that.
Yeah, I hope we have a fix for the controller that will be ready for the next PTS.
Voice on 1.5 for our Xbox community.
We should have a fix for that.
There's a fix for that.
We should have a fix for that with 1.5, which means that as you remember, or if you remember, we deactivated voice chat on Xbox One to temporarily fix the stutter issue. We have a fix now for the stutter issue that doesn't require the Xbox voice chat to be deactivated. So with 1.5, we should be able to reactivate the voice chat, and the stutter should be gone also.
Nice. I saw another really good question in there before. Someone was asking about the new named items. They were asking, can you only get them in survival, or are there specific places that they can drop? So, for example,
the loot team has been trying out some different solutions, and both for the exotic gear and the named weapons. I think in the current PTS, they only drop from certain sources, certain activities.
But it's actually we have a change for that in PTS2 as well, because. On the current PTS, I think they only drop in survival, but that was not the intention, but that's what happened with this PTS, but we're changing it with PTS2, where they will also drop from certain activities and from the field proficiency cache as well. Great. So the idea is that if you want to farm this specific one.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, for example, like Barrett's chess piece. Yeah. She should be dropping that in Lexington, was my understanding.
Well, you can get it in a specific activity. We don't want to spoil it.
Well, it's got Barrett on it. Come on. Unless someone's stolen a chess piece.
But that's certainly how it works.
I'm sure we've said that. I think we've talked about it.
It is how it works.
But the idea is that yes, there are activities that you will have a chance to get this specific item. But then we don't want to force you to do this activity, so you also have a chance to get any of them in the field proficiency caches, which is the XP part thing.
Exactly. So if you're targeted going for a thing, you'll be able to run a certain activity.
Backpack bug is back. Yeah, we know about the backpack bug.
Oh, really? Oh, damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
probably
we have that.
Any date for the update? Obviously, that's one of the big questions. Death for I think I saw the name. we do not have a date for you just yet, but as soon as we do, I mean, we really want to, get that date out to you as soon as we can.
A lot of people are talking about groups versus solo players in the survival mode. It's important to note that it attempts to matchmake for the best possible solution every time, but the test servers are kind of small.
Really
it's a very small population, so it sort of has to do non-ideal matchmaking, sometimes just get the matches going on these very small servers that we have for the PTS, and so that's why you sometimes end up in those results.
Exactly.
So, we're aware that solo players want to be matched against solo players, etc. That's not a thing we're deaf to.
So PTS, so as we said, we have an update of the PTS that is coming. It's coming tomorrow. So tomorrow we will have a maintenance of the PTS. We don't know exactly when and how long yet, but we will let you know when that happens. We will have a maintenance and a patch for the PTS. So we will have what we call PTS 2, which is going to be the second version of PTS. We have a few changes in there. I don't have the patch notes just yet, or all the patch notes. We're working on them. But there's a few changes. I've seen some people saying the survival is too easy or this kind of thing. So we looked at some of the feedback. We made a few changes in some of these things, balancing changes with survival. We have some new bug fixing coming as well. So yeah, just look out for the patch notes. They will come later today, I think. When we open the next PTS, so tomorrow, as I said, tomorrow morning, hopefully morning, we have a maintenance to update the PTS. When we open the PTS, survival will not be accessible.
The mode.
The survival mode, the update 1.5 is still there, but the survival mode will be closed for a limited time because we also want you guys to focus on testing the free update 1.5. And we've already had some people testing it. We already had some feedback. But the fact that, of course, we have survival available, a lot of people have been playing survival and giving us great feedback on it. That's cool. That's good. But we kind of want you guys now to focus on update 1.5. So when the PTS reopens tomorrow after the update, survival will be deactivated for some time.
Character wipe. Is characters being re-imported tomorrow? Do we?
I think so, but that's a good question.
It's a good question.
I think they are.
It's probable, but we would need to double check.
And we also re-import the Season Pass database. So if any of you actually got the Season Pass after we open the PTS, you will get access to Survival when we reopen it then.
And since you had the blind rifle,
which is now the urban MDR.
That was the. Oh, you answered the question already. The whole question was. Please stop spoiling.
Yeah.
Anyway, the whole question was that Retorzan was asking. What's happening with the blind rifle? I need to get my semi-auto.
Yep, it's in there. The fixes, the semi-auto fix for you is in there.
Yeah, so there's an urban MDR.
Yeah.
That's its name, right? That's the named name of it.
That's what it is. Because we don't have a blind set anymore. It didn't fit with that.
Yeah.
And because of that, it got a little bit of a better talent, because now it does extra damage to someone with a status effect, any status effect, not just blind. A lot of people are talking about the new gear set and why you can't swap between a pistol and an SMG while using it. And there's two parts to that. One is that we were thinking about doing that and what it would cost, because it's kind of complicated with animations and stuff. But the reason why we've added things like the Rhino and the 93R and stuff like that is we want shield usage to not be just that one gear set. So that gear set has that limitation because we want you to build sidearm functioning shield builds not using that gear set, and then SMG shield builds using that gear set. So it isn't the one-stop shop for anybody who wants to use a shield. So if you could, then you would just use the best sidearm and an SMG and that set, and then there wouldn't be any build diversity or any place for that. So it's the choice we made.
Stash size.
What, we're going to do that now?
You spoil, I spoil. That's just how it goes.
Okay. I'm so excited.
Yep. The answer is yes.
Stash size.
We are increasing the stash size with update 1.5. It's not on the PTS. I don't know if it's going to be on PTS 2, actually. It might be.
I think it might be.
Yannick, you did it.
But we are increasing the stash size with update 1.5. So it was 70. We're increasing to 150.
Oh my God, it's more than double.
Big explosion, nuclear stuff and everything.
Just as an aside on the stash size increase, it also comes with a stash performance increase, so it's not as laggy as before.
Yeah, there's also that, yeah.
Yes.
And loadouts, no, we are not putting loadouts with 1.5. We know that this is something that you guys want, but yeah, we don't have that just yet, but that's something we'd like to implement in the game at some point.
PS4 Pro update, we don't have any news on anything in that regard. I mean, I would love it. It would be awesome. Although I would have to buy a PS4.